Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I filmed a tutorial. I've been like really busy lately. Hopefully soon I'll be able to say why I've been so busy. But as for now, it's been a little crazy around here. I haven't gotten around to filming any of my skincare videos, skincare hauls. I remember I wanted to do a tutorial using my dermasuction vacuum. I haven't gotten around to doing that. It's just been nuts. So I figured, why not do a Valentine's Day / Galentine's Day vlog for you guys. Something just to get back in there and make me more happy and in my zone, because this is when I'm in my zone, when I'm filming. So before I go on to contour my face, I forgot to mention the shade of the foundation that I'm using. So it's the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation in the shade 190. I've been using this shade for about 2 months now, just because the summer shade, I was using the color 300 for the summer, which when I was like super tan, I'm not anymore. I had to switch it. The tan one was making me too yellow, and it just didn't work. So I switched to this color, and it matches me perfectly. I no longer have to match colors. Now I know which color I am in the winter, which one I am in the summer, and then on the off season, like in between like fall, spring, maybe I can just use both. So that's that. And now I'm gonna move on to contour. I don't know if this is for everybody, but I have a double chin, whether I'm chunky or skinny. I'm gonna put it on here. I don't really contour my nose, but today I will. And I'm just gonna do, and I usually only just do one side, just because I don't like to make it too narrow, because I already have a narrow nose. So next, what I'm going to be doing is contouring my nose quickly. I recently picked up this 4-piece eye brush collection from Morphe. It's called I Need It. These are really good brushes, especially to get like that precision in your eyebrow application, in your eyeshadow application. Comes 4. These are the brushes. Flat. This is really good for blending. This one is really good for getting it on, like applying. It's so thin, like the brush, it just stays. And like the more pigmented the product is, the less you have to use as you apply it. And then you just blend it out with the same brush, or you can use the bigger one. Oops. Or you can use the bigger one. The collection is bomb. This one I use to contour my nose, or sometimes to use apply. So I don't really only sometimes I'll use this if I'm using like the brow the pomade for brow application. But lately I've been using for brows the brow beater by Urban Decay. It's really good, and I like the spoolie. It brushes all my hairs out perfectly. So I'm gonna contour my nose and then move on to eyebrows and eyes. So for highlighting and contouring, I'm going to be using by Tarte the Shape Tape. I threw out the box, or I have no idea where it is at the moment. So, oh, it's actually light medium. It's on there. In light medium. So I use this to contour my nose and to highlight under my eyes. So this is, holy girl, I love this. It works really well. It hides any imperfections and it's great for highlighting and contouring. So next, what I'm going to be doing is baking. I'm going to be using, like always, the Fenty Beauty banana powder. So what I do is I apply a little bit on the little small round plate that comes with the product, and I take my beauty blender, and I'm not going to be doing like a full-on bake. I'm just going to be doing like a little bit just to set my makeup. I ran out of the setting mist that I use, so I'm not going to be using any. So if you're wondering why I didn't use any at the end of my video, I ran out, have to go to Ulta. So I lightly pressed the beauty blender onto the little palette that they provided, like I said, with the products, and I am going to lightly apply it on my under eye with a light hand. So moving on to eyes. The first palette I am going to be using is the Disney Designer Collection by ColourPop Cosmetics. And for my crease, just so it can pop in the base, the color I am going to be using is called Pip. I'm going to be using that with the Skinnier Blending Brush by Morphe from the collection that I mentioned earlier in the video. And I just dab a little bit in because these are pigmented colors, and apply. A little goes a long way. So moving on to the second palette that I'm going to be using. It's by BH Cosmetics, and it's called Summer in Saint Tropez. It's a 16 color shadow palette. Oh my god, I cannot wait for summertime to use these. They are amazing. Cannot wait. They're gorgeous. So in this palette, I am going to definitely be using the color Sizzle. It's like a shimmery magenta. And I might be using Villa. I'm not too sure. I'll see how I like it. And maybe Nightlife. I'm not really sure, but definitely Sizzle. So with that same brush that I applied my base color with, I am going to do the same thing with the color Sizzle from the Saint Tropez palette. These colors are pigmented as well. From that same BH Cosmetics palette, I decided to use the color Villa, which is like a Sea Rose, which is like one of my favorite shades of pink. And I'm going to be applying that with my flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to apply it in the innards towards the middle part of my eyelid. So now from the Fenty Beauty Mix and Match Snap Shadows, this is the Rose palette. I am obsessed with this palette. I love anything roses. Pink roses, red roses are my favorite. But this is like one of my favorite palettes. I try not to use it all the time because I like to use it for special occasions. But this is a special occasion. So I'm going to be using basically the entire palette except for this brown color, which is called Spice Trip. And I probably will be using these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are the Sleepover, Lil Miss, Sugar Shock, and Diva, Feva, and Stunt Queen. Those are the 5 colors I'm going to be using. So let's see. I'm gonna use Sugar Shock first, which is this. So for now, at the moment, to brighten up the inner corners of my eyelids, I'm going to be using the color Sleepover, which is the lightest pink on the Mix and Match Snap Palettes, Snap Shadows. And I'm just going to apply it on the inner corners here, very lightly over the color Villa that I used from the BH Cosmetics palette. And now from that same Fenty Beauty Snap Shadow palette, for the under eye, I'm going to be using the color Lil Miss, which is this awesome, beautiful, hot pink magenta color that I absolutely love for summertime. Forget it's going to look nice with a tan. Just going to apply it. I already did this side. So if you notice from the eyeshadow application that I did on my top eyelid, it already had the color brought down a little bit, so I'm just gonna follow through, which is what I, excuse me, which is what I already did on my right eye. I'm just gonna do the same thing on my left. And I'm using that with the same Morphe brush that I used to do my top eyeshadow application. I just bring it a little bit and then make it. Moving forward, the next step is eyelashes. I am using ones that I used, I think on Monday. Don't judge. We all do it. And if you don't, you have done it at some point, reused eyelashes. However, I don't advise you using them more than 3 times, just because when you're out, you tend to collect bacteria as it is on your natural brows, your natural eyelashes from the environment and stuff like that. So what eyelashes do is block the irritants or dust from going into your eyeballs. So these aren't ours if you use falsies or the strip. So whatever bacteria that you have that's falling from the air, dust, whatever, it's gonna go on these eventually. So if you keep using these same ones, it's gonna be bad. So we definitely don't want that. We don't want any type of eye infection or anything. So I wouldn't recommend using them after 2 or 3 times, depending on the state that they're in. If you're going out from, coming back from a night out, whether if it was a club, a bar, and it's like the second time that you've used it and you've fallen asleep with them on, I definitely chuck them, throw them in the trash. It's not, just don't. So I just pull on it a little bit so the glue could get a little tacky so that it sticks on better and adheres to my skin, the skin on my eyelash, and I stretch them out a little bit. So I don't know the name of these. I'm gonna find the box and list them below. When you apply lashes, it just changes the entire ballgame and appearance of your, just changes the entire look of your makeup application. Like, it just defines your face. That's why I love lashes. Okay, I wanted to wait until I was done applying my strip lashes to use these two colors because I wanted to pinpoint directly where I'm going to apply the colors onto my eyelids. So they're the last two colors that I've chosen to use off of the Snap Shadows from the Fenty Beauty palette. They are Diva Feva and Stunt Queen, like I mentioned before. So I wanted to take this color first. Oops, this color first. And just apply it to the outer V's of my top eyelid. And just in a patting motion in the corner, just to give it like a darker color there. These colors may look a little similar, but they're really them. And then lastly, it's the color, see, I'm saying these right. Oh, that was Diva Fever that I was using. Now I'm using Stunt Queen. This is more of like a glittery. Darker, like magenta color, brown. It's almost kind of brownish. It's like a bronze rose gold. It's beautiful though. Just a little there. See? And it warms up the corner, that your outer V, so that it looks like ombre kind of, see? That's the look I was going for today. Just filling that in a little bit, which doesn't look that bad, looks good. And I'm gonna do the same on the other eyelid. So that's it for my eyeshadow application. As you can see, eyeshadow fell down on the top parts of my cheek and my under eye. That is why I chose not to wipe off the excess powder that I used, the banana powder from Fenty Beauty. So what I'm gonna do is with this small Real Techniques Eco Tool, is it Eco Tool? It's Eco Tool, not Real Techniques. It's Eco Tool, an Eco Tool brush. So I'm just gonna lightly brush off the excess eyeshadow that fell. Pack that out. Make sure it's all off. Oh, some fell on my nose. Oh. Now with that same brush that I used to dust off the excess eyeshadow, I'm going to use the remaining powder from the Banana Powder by Fenty Beauty and just press the product into my skin. You can even go over your contour. It's not going to cover it entirely because you're not using a ton of powder to set your face right now, because you're just using whatever you had on your face and then the remaining that's on the little plate that they give you. And you want to make sure that you push the product in so that everything stays in place, depending on the type of event that you're going to be at, whether it's a night out or just an event in general, a baby shower, a wedding. You know, really quickly, I wanted to, oh my God, I got the wrong palette out. Really quickly, I wanted to just set my nose contour. I'm just gonna use one of these. I don't know. I don't even know the name of this. I think it's an e.l.f. Brush, like eyeshadow brush. But I'm using the color Malibu Soleil bronzer in the Becca Cosmetics and Chrissy Tiegan palette. It's the Glow palette. And I'm just gonna use a tiny bit just to set it. Can bring it up a little. So I try not to put a lot just because I don't do the other side. I do one side because, like I said, my nose is already narrow. and I go over the tip. So I set it a little bit. It looks a little more defined. Should buff it out a little bit more. So from that same Becca Cosmetics and Chrissy Tiegan palette, I am using the bronze color that I used to set my nose contour. I am going to set my cheeks and my jawline and a little bit of my forehead with an angled blush brush by Equal Tools. Just a tiny bit, a light hand. Just so that it doesn't look so like, I mean, it's really up to you, but I like a deep contour, but not too much because I already went over with the cream. The powder just helps me set it more. And then your forehead, this side, this side. This just chisels out my cheeks a lot and my jaw, which like I love. And again, from that Becca Cosmetics and Chrissy Teigen palette, I am using the, for blush, it is the color Peach or Beach Nectar. I like this color, and a little goes a long way. Just apply to the apples of your cheeks. Just what I do. I love blush. I'm like a blush girl. I love it. Especially during summertime where I don't wear a foundation, like too much foundation. I'll apply a lot of blush to give me like that summer glow that we all love. Maybe it's the lighting. One side looks more. So basically that entire last process that I just said is from the Becca Cosmetics and Chrissy Teigen palette. So the bronzer to set my cheeks, the peach color for blush, and the two highlighter colors for the highlight. My lips. What did I use last week? That the highlight colors were like, oh, the Juvia's Palace palette. I think I used that on Monday. Just a little bit on the bridge of your nose. I don't know if you can really see it. And I only really use highlight for when I go out, like at night. So my phone died. So for lip liner, I'm using by Jordana the color 20. It's an easy liner for lips. It's a retractable pencil. So I've already started to outline my lips. I bought this liner at Walgreens. It's definitely my go-to for when it's like a regular day, but I want more like a dramatic lip. I use it a lot for outlining and then shade it in, use the lipstick or matte lipstick, whatever you're into. But these are my steps, so you can follow or add your own. Okay, broke a little bit. So I'm not going to shade so much because the color I'm using is a bit dramatic. I've decided to use by Kat Von D. It is the Studded Kiss in the color Crush, which is great for Valentine's Day. I've never used this color. It's brand new. It smells good. It smells like chocolate too. It's so beautiful. This is definitely bright. So it's a beautiful color, but I feel like it's too bright for my eyeshadow application. So I'm gonna be using the liquid lipstick, also by Kat Von D. It's the color Beloved. It's more like a coral, I guess you could say. Let's just see. I'm just gonna apply it right over. Just as, yeah, see if it tones it down a little bit. I like experimenting and mixing things, so this is definitely a good experiment for my video. I have never used this liquid lipstick either. I bought it over the summer and I never used it. So this is the final result. I hope you like it. I really enjoyed filming this makeup tutorial for you and also for myself, just because I really love using these shades. These colors are amazing. They go with all skin types, all different type of hair colors, young person, older person, it doesn't matter who. It might be a little too dramatic for some, which is, it's okay. It's not for everybody. But if you like to be glam and you want to be glam at 10 o'clock in the morning when you're going to go shopping at the mall, do you. I don't know if I'm going to use this exact formula that I kind of conjured up with these two colors for tonight. For tonight, I think I'm going to go a little less. I don't know. It depends because it's nighttime. So it's not like you're going to be seen in the day and people are going to be like, ah. But I do